Hello. Let's see. You want to see how long it will take for me to get a live audience. Let's see. But if you're in the room, you can see that today we're talking about 5G. I have recently noticed while I was uploading my tarot readings that there are an awful lot of videos talking about 5G. And so I thought I would add my little 2 cents on what I think 5G is and where it is taking us in a new paradigm, and to discuss if it is could possibly be hazardous to humanity, and if so, how we can offset any potential harm to ourselves. Before I begin this discussion that I believe will be brief, I would like to refer you to some videos that you might want to watch from my video catalog. And it's 3 videos. The first one, gosh dang it, I didn't get the date that I published it, but I think I published it last year. And it's in the cards section. You can find it in the cards section. And it is called In the Presence of God, 5G Technology. And the next video I'd like you to watch relative to this particular live stream is You Are Being Microwaved. And that was published May 24th, 2016. And the last video I like to point you to watch in relationship or in addition to this live stream. It's called Knock Knock. Why are the wild animals dropping dead? And I republished it recently back in March of 2018. And the reason why I asked you to search out those particular videos: in the presence of God, 5G technology; 2, you are being microwaved; and 3, knock knock, why are the wild animals dropping dead? Is because all of those videos really have to do with 5G technology and how it is affecting humanity, or the impact it's having upon humanity. And those videos cover my preliminary experiences with 5G. Even before 5G was popping, I was reporting on it. So I want you to go back and take the time to look at that. Now, as mentioned, I'm going to sit here and wait a while to see if I can pull a live stream audience so that I have a few people to talk to. We're going to see what YouTube will do for me. At this time, I guess I can share my email with you if you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading. Feel free to do so by contacting me. My name is Nancy at canangelsfly1@gmail.com. At that time, you can leave your name, your contact information as far as phone number or Skype name, and just let me know that you're interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, and I will get right back to you. If you're ever interested and you can't remember my email, all the information that you need to order your own personal tarot reading is below this video. Hey Megan, how are you this evening? I'm so happy you found me and you dropped by. I'm so happy. This evening I'm talking about 5G technology. And so, I was just sharing videos that I'm asking viewers to locate and watch. And then I just offered my email to the audience if anybody is interested in ordering their own personal tarot reading. I guess the next thing would be to just, announce that if you are like my content and you enjoy my channel, you can always patronize me by, I guess the information is below this video. It's below every video that gives you my PayPal me thing, and or the PayPal me thing or the Cash App me thing. Anywho, I would greatly appreciate your contributions. Thank you. Let me see what it was something else I wanted to talk about. Short-term memory loss. Ism from South Africa. Really? Well, welcome in here from South Africa. I do get a lot of international visitors. I'm so thankful you dropped by. That's a long way to travel to come see me here in the United States. That's why I like the internet, and I like YouTube, because it allows us all to come together from all over the world, different races, nationality, cultures. It's a wonderful place to, commune. Well, I guess I can't hold you up much longer, so I guess I'll begin to create this video. Again, why am I focusing on 5G this evening? It is because I see it kind of trending around YouTube, so I thought I stick my 2 cents in and talk about what I believe 5G to be and how I believe it have an impact on humanity. And so the first thing I like to, let me see, I talked about the videos. I'll say this, that Pandora's box has been opened. It really has. And to me, Pandora's box represents humans coming into possession of divine spiritual knowledge that governs this realm, and learning to use it and to master it. And in doing so, also began to master this physical realm. But that divine information about this ram was actually a Pandora's box or Pandora's gift. Once it was opened, once it began to be learned and studied and practiced, it spun out of control. It is truly spun out of control. And here we are today, headed or very close to having 5G broadly placed. I'll say that. And from this point where we are now, we will continue to expand our consciousness and to try technology. We will keep pushing the boundaries back further and further. The issue is that humans are so limited that we really can't handle it. We really can't handle it. But we're going to keep on pushing and advancing in technology. Even if we have to destroy ourselves, that's what we all know for sure. So the next thing, I didn't even put this in order. Pandora's box. One of the gifts that came out of Pandora's box was the knowledge about wavelengths or frequencies. And since our original introduction to frequencies and wavelengths, we have grown in awareness and understanding about such things. As mentioned, humans are limited because we aren't responsible. Why? Because we're greedy and we're selfish and those type of things. So we keep moving forward. As mentioned, here we are at 5G. What effects will 5G have on us? Those 3 videos that I have suggested for you to watch reveal some of the ways that the initiation or the onset of 5G has already began to affect humanity and all things alive on this earth. One way that it has begun to affect us is that we have a increased dependency upon these 5G frequencies, as well as those that preceded the 5G, which is 4G, 3G, 2G, etc. We have grown accustomed to it and dependent upon it. The next way that the 5G technology is affecting us already before the system is completely put into place, is that we have been being microwaved literally by the sun. In my video, You're Being Microwaved, it reveals what I noticed in our atmosphere and how the onset of the setup to get us to 5G has permitted those in power to concentrate heat or wavelengths or frequencies upon people. Right now, it's spoken of as weaponized weather, something like that. Hello, how you doing this evening, Gretchen? And another way that 5G, just the onset of it, has had an impact upon humanity as well as other living beings is that a lot of our wild animals are dying and nobody seems to know why. And so That's why I asked you to locate the video Knock Knock. Why are our wild animals dropping dead? Because I share my experiences that were revealed to me 2 or 3 years ago, and it's directly related to the development of 5G. Anyway, Pandora's box has been opened, and once you open Pandora's box, it cannot be shut. The gifts and the technology just keeps coming out and folding over and over and over again. Humans cannot handle that great responsibility because in this physical body, we are very selfish and greedy. And so I'm going on. As you can see, the title of this live stream is just not merely 5G. The title is 5G. We are living in a contaminated world. Why did I decide to title this live stream 5G? We are living in a contaminated world. It goes back into that Pandora box effect, where upon the commencement of 5G, the residual effects increasingly contaminate our RAM. Pandora's box has been opened. Now, I personally believe that, let me show you some stuff I pulled up on Wikipedia. And so I'm going to disappear, and my 5G going to disappear, and I'm going to show you some stuff I found on Wikipedia. "5G" on Wikipedia Wikipedia shares about 5G is what I'll say, is that 5G means from the fifth generation. I think a lot of us know that, and is the latest generation of cellular mobile communications. That sounds so innocent, that 5G is merely cellular mobile communications. It succeeds the 4G, the 3G, and the 2G systems. 5G performances targets 5G performance targets high data rate, reduce latency, energy saving, cost reduction, higher systems capacity, and massive device connectivity. Sounds so simple. Sounds so innocent, as if it will just increase our communication devices. No more dropped calls. Let me see. I'm gonna read a little bit more. I got to learn how to highlight stuff on here so I can find it quick, fast, and hurry. But anyway, I'm going to read so we can, really find out what this 5G is about. The first phase of 5G specifications in Release 15 will be completed by April 2019. This is February 2019, March, April, in 2 months. In 2 months, the first phase of 5G specification in Release 15 will be completed in 2 months to accommodate the early commercial deployment. I want to stop right there and put my 2 cents in. If on April 2019, the first phase of 5G in relationship to commercial usage is going to be activated, that means that the people, I'll just say the specialists, the technology specialists, have been working on this system for years, many, many years. And I point you back to those videos in my catalog that I asked you to watch. The one about in being in the presence of God, 5G technology, and you're being microwaved in. The knock knock one that says, why are our wild animals dropping dead? Because that was a point in time when 5G technology, the setup of it, commenced. And many of us miss the evidence of this evolving technology. So I shared the experiences that I had then. Did I know at the time it was directly related to 5G? No. But now I do. And now I can see clearer where 5G is taking humanity. So I want to keep reading. It says the second phase in release 16 is due to be completed by April 2020, meaning 1 year after the commercial deployment of 5G. There will be a second phase in which 5G will be released or activated for submission to International Telecommunications Union as a candidate of IMT 2020 technology. Now, if we're not lazy, if we want to be smart, we can actually look up and see what International Telecommunications ITU is, as well as what does it mean to be a candidate of IMT 2020 technology. That's if we really, really want to dive deep and see what 5G technology taking us. But I know I'm lazy, so I'm a shortcut. And just say, hey, 5G technology is a fifth generation communications technology that its commencement began back in 2000 and maybe 13, but we didn't know what we were dealing with. But now, or soon to be in April of 2019, April this year, it's going to enter its first phase of commercial deployment. And then a year from that date, is going into the submission to the international, that means worldwide, telecommunications. Why is that important? Well, I can't say yet because I want to show you something else about this 5G. And so I'm going to shut with the screen down that you see, and I'm going to open up another one. Again, I've kind of shortcut so that we can dive deep together without me being, hey, Yoni, too long-winded. So I'm shortcutting. Still talking about 5G. What is 5G? So we've already discovered that it's the fifth generation of basically communications. It's a wavelength. But now, remember when I was just reading the last screen for Wikipedia on 5G, it says that in April 2020, 5G will go into its second release. And that second release will be submitted to the International Telecommunications Union. Do you not see that there on this page? What page are we on now? We're on a page on Wikipedia that talks about extremely high frequency. Extremely high frequency, or EHF, is the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, designated for the brand of radio frequencies. We got to go down because there's some more important information here. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Let me continue to read. So, it is the International Telecommunications Union, that ITU place. Designation for the brand of radio frequencies in the electromagnetic spectrum. That's what's important. So because we're finding out what the hell is 5G. And it tells us right here that on a global scale, basically, if I'm reading it right, kind of doing this on the fly now, but it's a radio frequency in the electromagnetic spectrum in a certain portion of the wavelength. And earlier we found that it was very, I think it was very small was the word that they used, but they're very, very powerful. And so the reason why I want to share with you or point out that 5G is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum is because I want to show you something else. Next board. I want to talk about old traditional microwave. You probably got one. Well, I hope I don't mess up these boards. Okay. Microwave. Let's read about a microwave. A microwave oven, also commonly referred to as a microwave, is an electric oven that heats and cooks food by exposing it to electric magnetic radiation in the microwave frequency range. That sounds really similar. Electromagnetic radiation. And we're talking about with the 5G, it said electromagnetic part of the spectrum. Is that not one basically, and how can I say, in the same? Let me see if I can clarify that, which might be a complication. Is that the 5G technology is the source of the electromagnetic radiation. If the 5G device don't exist and it don't work, it can't create and affect the radiation. I know that's a lot, but that's a part of Pandora's box. Once it was open, everything just keeps folding and pouring out and folding. We live in a contaminated world. But what was I doing? Let me come back and see you face to face. What was I doing? What I was doing when I took the time to pull up that information on Wikipedia about 5G, about the electromagnetic waves, and about the microwave. I did that to show you something that I heard. I heard something. Rumors that 5G was like microwaves. And so I just couldn't come on here and, just spread that information without having any proof. I found proof that 5G is in the same spectrum, wavelength spectrum, as your microwave. However, it's going to be, of course, on a broader or bigger scale. So, how can I say this? 5G. We are living in a contaminated world. 5G. Radiation. Now, I don't know what y'all follow here on YouTube. You always hear me say that. But I know it's real popular and it's real trendy. The warnings about 5G technology. People are warning us against the various new meters being put on homes. We're being warned about the 5G, towers that are being erected. And people are just saying just how dangerous 5G technology will be to humanity and all living things in this world. So I came today to add my little 2 cents in on 5G. Now, I began to offer my little 2 cents on 5G back in like 2015. Again, I suggested those videos from that time period, and they are In the Presence of God, 5G technology. Then You Are Being Microwaved. That was published May 24th, 2016. And then finally, Knock Knock, Why Are the Wild Animals Dropping Dead Out of the Sky? Right now, I want to kind of talk about what each one of those previous videos were about. When I share my testimony about my life experiences, because I had some concerns about what was taking place in my reality. But at the time, I didn't know it was the development of 5G technology taking place. Why is this important? Because the truth of the matter is, upon the commencement or the initiation or the setup of this 5G system, there have been negative effects that initially took place. So in the future, don't let nobody tell you they didn't know. Yeah, they knew right off. They knew. In the video I did entitled The Presence of God, I talked about something called the Pentad system. And the Pentad system is, I'll say, it is the manifestation of God or divinity. And the Pentad 5 are as follows. The Pentad has the ability to have forethought and thought. The Pentad has foreknowledge. The Pentad has eternal life, which is Pandora's box. Once it open, it can't be shut. The Pentad has indestructibility. Neither can it be destroyed. We know energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transformed. And fifth, the Pentad has truth. And why is this important? Why is that video so important? Because it shows the ultimate goal of technology. And primarily, or in short, is to be our God. We already are highly dependent on it. And not only is it our God, or will be our God, is that it knows all things and is indestructible and will dictate our truth. This is 5G in reality. The next video I made that I want to talk about a little bit more. I know y'all tired of hearing about these videos, but they're so relevant. They're relevant because they do what? In those videos, I'm exposing the setup of 5G and the impact it was already having upon humanity once it was initiated. When it began to be set up, the system ain't completely set up. These were just the initiations. And from the Pentad, we've already formulated our dependency. We are dependent on our iPhones, our laptops, the internet. All of these things are a part of that Pentad or 5G as God manifests here in the physical realm. I'm trying to make it make sense. Anyway, on to that next video that I created where it talked about Europe being microwave. Why is that important? Why do I keep talking about this video I made in the past? It was because about 4 or 5 years ago, I was being cooked. I was being burnt, and I talked about it. I talk about the device I saw mounted up in the sky directly in front of the sun, and how it was able to direct the rays of the sun and focus the heat on an individual space, if so desired. At the time, did I know that it was 5G technology? No. Did I have the label for it of weaponized weather? No. That came later. But my testimony shows the onset of the setting up of the system of 5G and what it's capable of doing. And what I share in that video is that those people in power are able to focus the power of the sun on the masses. But I'll come back to that. And the final video that I keep referring you to that I made some years ago, titled Knock Knock, Why Are the Wild Animals Dropping Dead? Is because, again, it reveals the effect that the setup of 5G is having on our environment. At the time that I made that video, did I know that it was an effect or side effect of the setup of 5G? No, I didn't. I was just having certain experiences in life that were concerning to me. In that video, I share a depletion in the oxygen levels that were present at that particular time. And it was an effect of 5G. Since that time, many animals, birds, fish, and even more have continued to die mysteriously. No one can figure it out. I shared back then. It was a decrease in the oxygen levels. Okay, let me see if I can try to, because I didn't really set this up. I just wanted to share, put my 2 cents in. Today, what are we talking about? We're talking about 5G technology and the potential impact it can have upon humanity, and what we can do to prepare for this technology. Because we know that those people in power aren't going to stop advancing in technology. They're going to push 5G to its limits. So far, we have discovered that 5G wavelengths is within the electromagnetic spectrum. That's the same spectrum that a microwave works on. And I want to do something. Y'all don't know how this is going to work. How y'all doing tonight? I just be so, yes, honey. If you could stick with me, I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about how we cannot drop dead. I have a lot more research to do on this subject matter, but I just want to show you I can't say my preliminary, because my preliminary started about 5 or 6 years ago. When this about 6 years ago, but this is my next level of research, and so it is very important. As you see, I don't know how I'm gonna progress with this, but as you see, I've placed a microwave, an image of a microwave on the screen. I put it there to help you use your imagination. Think of that microwave as our atmosphere. We're within an atmosphere space. I personally believe, but I don't know. I don't have no evidence. I'm not a scientist, an astronaut, or anything. But I just kind of sense that any contaminants or gas releases on this earth only climb so high. Is that altitude? Only is able to expand outward, as far as altitude, so far before it's forced to come back in. Global warming, it's like global warming. And so, using your imagination, imagine that we're inside that microwave, me, you, and every individual in humanity. Now, this microwave. Well, microwaves, again, run on electromagnetic waves. And where is it at? I just have notes everywhere, y'all. So, let me talk about microwaves. A microwave oven warms things by basically drying things. And it cooks on very, very, very high temperatures. Now, if our world, I don't even know if I have the world readily available. Let me see if I got the world readily available. I'm just trying to help aid your imagination. I don't have a world or a globe ready. I don't. I thought I might have a globe ready, but I don't. Okay. The microwave is equivalent to us stuck here on Earth with 5G all around us. One of the things that I heard about 5G, and I confirmed with my preliminary research tonight, is that 5G is a very small wavelength, very close, not big, no, it's very small, which means it can dissipate quickly. So it has to have, like a conductor, one pole after the other. If you've heard this information before about 5G, you've heard this. One pole after another, one 5G tower after another, so that the waves can connect and finish its cycle, whatever the cycle consists of. Let's say the whole world, at least the concentrated areas, population and all that. So the microwave you are looking at online is the same as us on this earth with all those 5G towers everywhere. And remember, the 5G tower is merely a tool in which the frequency, I already closed a little box that says exactly what the wavelength is, moves. The activation of those wavelengths create a result. It dispenses something. And what it dispenses is radiation. Got it? Just like microwaves. You know how they say, don't stand in front of a microwave. Why? Because it dispenses small spurts, especially if it gets older, of radiation. Small spurts of radiation. Well, 5G all over the world would dispense large amounts of radiation. Let's see. Why is this important? How can I keep this parallel? Let's talk about the time period that 5G is fully activated, which seems to be, the projected date seems to be April 2020, that it'll be international. Let's talk about then. What do y'all know? What don't you put in this microwave? You bet not put in this microwave or to blow it up. Certain things you should not put in this microwave. So right now we're starting to talk about the do's and don'ts when you deal with microwaves, that part of the electromagnetic spectrum. What's the do's and don'ts? We know about this microwave, but we don't know about us and 5G. So that's where I'm about to go right now. Because you ask Gretchen, will people be dropping dead? Tinfoil, right. You know not to put tinfoil in there. Otherwise, some bad stuff gonna happen. So why don't we want to put tinfoil in the microwave, really? That's what I'm about to talk about. That's number one on my list. Actually, I went, of course, I Googled it, and I asked about what don't you want to put in a microwave. And so it says, here are a few things you should never put in a microwave oven. It was 11 things. Oh, well, only 10 actually I took. And number one was the tin foil, the aluminum foil. And the reason why you do not want to put the aluminum foil into the microwave is because the metals reflects The heck, here go. Oh, the metals reflects radio waves or microwaves, meaning as that microwave pushes those microwaves in on the food, if it's aluminum foil around it, it's like a mirror, pushes it back out and does what? Shoot sparks and blow that mother sucker up. And right, and silver, don't put it in there. Now, we're just talking about this little old microwave. But we know by April 2020, we are going to be in a big old microwave, and we're the turkeys in it. We're the turkeys in it. So at that point, that we know that we are the turkeys in the microwave, would it be smart for us to use wrap ourselves in, I'll say, metal into aluminum foil? The answer would be yes, because if we protect ourselves with various forms of aluminum foil and other metals, then we would basically short circuit the system. We would. So I anticipate there are going to be some things that are outlawed. I don't know what it's going to be. But right now, I'm all over the place, y'all, because I just decided at the last minute to do this. I actually have another live stream I want to do. Where is that? I can't see. Maybe I still, nope, that's the next one I want to do. Where is it at? Because I wanted to talk about how to protect ourselves. Because Pandora's box is open. It ain't going to be shut. Stuff going to keep pouring out. And by 2020, we're going to all be turkeys in a microwave. So how do we protect ourselves? Well, what things that, let me read this. You can't put a Starbucks cup in there. Right. There's a thin line on the side of the cup that smokes in microwave. Yep. See, there are particular things, and see, that's something that is should be researched. Ooh, you just hitting on Yoni where I'm about to go. This is serious business. When I've been hearing these people complain about this 5G, Hazel, I was like, really, I got to get to it. I got to research, but they are really complaining about something that is for real going to be a threat to humanity, to all living beings here in this physical world. You got to know what you can have in your surroundings and what you can't have in your surroundings, because they can be deadly to you. So I'm about to move forward because y'all hitting on different stuff. But by 2020, when this 5G is fully in place, the whole system is in place, is international, and we are the turkeys in the microwave, then we have to know what we can have in our environment and we cannot have in our environment. Hey, Emily. And one thing that would be beneficial to us to protect ourselves is to have some forms of metal in our environment. So right now, I want to talk about some forms of metals that we may keep. Now, as you know, the title of this live stream is 5G. We are living in a contaminated world. Once Pandora's box was open, it could never be closed. So even though I suggest that it would be beneficial to us to have metals to help offset these frequencies or these wavelengths that we will be consistently bombarded with in another year or two, those metals too are deadly. What's the lesser of two evils becomes the question. Organite, is that something you can consume? I don't know that, but I'll research it. So right now, I'm talking about how can we protect ourselves. We've discovered that metal is like the arch enemy of a microwave, of those waves that come in, because the aluminum plays like as a mirror and reflects the waves back into the microwave, leading to sparks and explosions and fires and things like that. And so things that will be good for us, the lesser of two evils, I'll say the lesser of two evils, not just good, but the lesser of two evils, would be things like sunscreen. I talked about it in that video where I talked about we're being microwaved, because many of the sunscreens have like that, what they call it, metallic kind of glittery stuff to help do what? Hey, Terenzo, retract or reflect those microwaves back away from our bodies. The next thing, pay attention to y'all, pay attention to current events. When I was doing this little quick research, I thought about something I saw on the news. I don't know what's on your news, but what I saw on my news, they recently, some scientists did a study on juices, fruit juices. Of course, the fruit juices are primarily marketed to children. And they were saying that the fruit juices had high levels of heavy metals in them. And they're not healthy for you. But is the lesser of two evils when we're talking about dealing with 5G. So what am I saying? What am I suggesting? That just maybe some of them fruit juices that's got heavy metals in them might be a good thing. And then there are other edible or consumable metals that are like supplements that maybe we should begin to research and incorporate into our diets. Some things that I have heard, I haven't been able to purchase personally, but maybe I have because I do take biotin, so maybe it's in there. I think I did see it. It's like gold. They have certain golds. Lithium is something else, and like lithium, I think gold too, but lithium is a part of our natural chemical makeup, and so that is metal. And then we have iron that's in our system, in our blood system. That's why you eat beets, And so what am I saying? I'm talking about making sure that our body chemical composition is balanced and maintained in order to fight off the effects of 5G. Mono atomic gold. Yeah, I've heard that is consumable. And I want to say it's in biotin too, like I was saying, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the bottle. But there are many other metals that one can take. And then if we have to consume more metals, that would mean that it would be more important that we visit our doctors for lab work, blood work more often to make sure they stay in a healthy range, but on the higher level of normal in order to, offset the effects of 5G, the potential effects. Another thing relative to this microwave, this is our example, that if you put water in it, it takes a while for it to heat up, to maintain the high temperature and to boil out. So remember, come 2020, we are the turkeys in the microwave. That suggests in order for us not to be dried out, because remember, microwave ovens warm things until they're dried out. That's how they cook it, on very high temperatures. In order for us not to get dried out, it suggests that we are going to have to drink plenty of water. We have to stay hydrated. Now, I know y'all done heard all this, because I know I done heard it all. But now, finally, it's making sense why we must do these things. Because 5G will be cooking us live. It's already in play. It's already, that part is already initiated, and I want to go back to that in a minute. Anyway, I'm talking about what we can do, the lesser of two evils that we can choose to do in order to protect ourselves at least a little bit from the effects of 5G and the radiation that accompanies such technology. Is another thing I'm looking into, and I guess I need to finish researching it, but I was thinking about salt, salt is already dried out. Would salt, because see, salt is not a good conductor for microwaves. Eventually, it's almost like it's nothing in the microwave. So the microwave, if there's nothing in the microwave will do what? Explode. It will explode. So salt is something to research. And then salt also holds water. And so what am I saying? And this is a little rough, but I was thinking about salt consumption and how high salt in the body causes like the kidneys to hold excess water. And so I was thinking, if we're in a microwave, that might end up being something that, if handled delicately, might be beneficial during this time period. And another thing I was thinking, I got to go and further research, this was just a thought. Anybody with high blood pressure during this time period, I think would have increased headaches, because it would be like trying to boil water, but that water constantly having steam vents and constantly being replaced. And so what am I saying? I'm talking about high blood pressure having a positive and a negative effect based on 5G. But I would have to just go into that part and research it. Himalayan salt? Possibly. I've had it, but I don't know the difference like between iodine salt or table salt, Himalayan salt, and what's the other one? Sea salt. Now all these salts are out, but it stands to be researched. It really does, based on the information, or the not the information, the impact 5G can have on the physical body. And so I want to go back, because what was I just talking about with all that rambling? I'm talking about how we can protect ourselves from this 5G, these 5G frequencies that will be out here all over the world in the next year. And we've discovered that aluminum or metal products can help us. I don't know if you watch fashion shows, but in the last couple of years, I noticed whenever I see a fashion show, or I opened up like a magazine where, it's the high-end fashions, they always messing around with these metallic outfits and stuff now. Like kind of survival, kind of doomsday prepping metallic outfits. And now, researching 5G, it suggests to me that they're creating a line of clothing that can defend a person from what? The frequencies of the 5G energy or network. And I know I'm going somewhere with this, because I was supposed to talk about, it's mess when you ain't got no order. So I want to stop, because I do want to continue to talk about what to put in the microwave and what not to put in the microwave, and why. So we know what we can have in our environment around us when this whole 5G setup is in place, and what we bet not have in our environment when this 5G system is set in place, because it can do what? Cause people to drop dead. What you got? What you had down? Was that you, Gretchen? Who was that? Who caused people to drop dead? And we gonna act like we don't know why. Anyway, let me talk about. It was the 5G. It was something. My brain just slipped. Anyway. 5G. I left something out. Anyway, I'm going to continue talking about what we should and should not put back in the microwave. My research revealed that paper bags, a brown paper bag, should not be put in the microwave. The bag that your popcorn comes in is different. It has, I guess, some type of coating on it. But why shouldn't you put a paper bag in a microwave? Well, the little article I found on Google says it's because if you put that brown paper bag in the microwave and turn it on, as that brown paper bag heats up, it can release toxins and fumes that, of course, can make you sick. The reason why I find that really interesting is because this little microwave is contained, but has potential to be harmful if misused. This 5G microwave that we will be in is as not contained. So any brown paper products slowly could be releasing toxins and fumes in the environment that are hazardous to us. Now that's something that I don't think most of us would think could ever happen. But if this 5G system is set up and is as elaborate and sophisticated as the people in control would like, and it has the same electromagnetic, it's within the same spectrum of the electromagnetic waves as this microwave, then that means even a brown paper bag can be dangerous to us. And we should not have those type of things in our household. Because like now we're conscious of like carbon monoxide, but at one time we weren't. And it was slowly leaking in our homes and things like that. But now we know. If I or someone like myself haven't done the research, will we be aware that a little brown paper bag that you got in your cabinet from the grocery store, or a pack of them so you can pack your kids' lunches, can be slowly releasing toxins in your environment over time? People not knowing why they sick. So the next thing my research revealed is that there are, what is this here? Oh, I forgot to research this. It's susceptors, a material that's made to consume the radiation. Oh, research to be done. How to protect yourself by April 2020 and onward from the 5G wavelengths and radiation is something called susceptors. I forgot to research it, but I'm going to spell it. Susceptors are SUSCEPTORS. Why is that important? Because remember, I bought up that popcorn you got that you put in the microwave, that bag is different from a brown paper bag. That bag that your microwave popcorn comes in has a material within it that has susceptors. And susceptors are a material that's made to consume the radiation. So that suggests that we can have susceptors in our environment away from us that would absorb radiation. The research that we need to do is to find out what susceptors are. Large form susceptors would be that we could put out in the yard, like a norm, what they call it, a gnome or something like that. I don't know, a sculpture of susceptors to pull that unwanted what they call radio waves into it rather than us. You bring me something?
No.
Oh.
Why?
Because I'm hungry.
I ate filet mignon and mashed potatoes.
Filet mignon?
Yeah. Well, it's a steak and mashed potatoes.
You ain't bring me none?
No.
You're just scandalous. Okay.
I thought about it.
Oh, you thought about me, but didn't do it. What kind of people are you? Person are you? Okay, the next thing that you don't put in a microwave, it says, is plastic bags or plastic containers. And the reason why you don't want to put plastic bags or plastic containers into a microwave, oh my goodness, I forgot to research how you pronounce these words. But plastic releases bisphenol, I'll spell it. Plastic releases bisphenol or BPA. That's what plastic releases in a microwave, which is an organic compound used to make plastic clear. And then it also releases, I'm going to spell it because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's PHTHALATES. pH phthalates. I don't know. Probably something simple. Anyway, which allows it to be supple. So these two things that are released from plastic when it is in a microwave is believed to indoctrinate disruptors. Anyway, substances that mimic human hormones. What am I saying? It is suggested that a person does not put any plastic bags or plastic containers in the microwave because the plastic, the compounds or the elements that make up the plastic bag actually mimic certain hormones that are in the human body. And if we are exposed to those hormones, artificial hormones, of course they will have an impact on the human body, like extra estrogen or extra whatever. Remember, we need to keep ourselves balanced, chemically balanced in order to be healthy. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that come 2020, we all will be that turkey in our microwave. And in our environment, one of the major issues that we're dealing with globally that many people don't acknowledge is that we can't get rid of plastic. We got landfills full of plastic. We got plastic bags from the grocery store in our cabinet. I mean, it's plastic everywhere. Plastic toys, plastic everywhere. And so all of this plastic, Pandora's box has been opened. Can't close it. All of this plastic that surrounds us, plastic is a part of our daily life, is going to be impacted or reactive or activated by these 5G frequencies, therefore releasing into our environment artificial hormones. Isn't that something? Those artificial hormones can settle into the dirt and various forms of the food supply, and then we consume them. So we can anticipate that there will be a lot of hormonal imbalances if we do not find a way to limit or block out these 5G radio waves. Anyway, going on. There it goes. I'm almost done, y'all. Just add my 2 cents on this 5G. What else shouldn't we put in the microwaves? Just sharing what I found when I Googled the question. Is, of course, travel mugs. And why shouldn't travel mugs be put in the microwaves? It's because it's constructed of plastic and steel. And we've already discovered that plastic releases artificial hormones that we don't need. And it also, with the travel mug being made of steel, that metals do not fare well in the direct line of microwaves. Actually, metals are the arch enemy of microwaves because it pushes those waves back where they come from. The next thing that is said that we should not put in a microwave, and I know this is silly and really doesn't line up with much of anything, but it says like your favorite shirt. And why shouldn't you put your favorite shirt into the microwave or something very thin and fragile? It is because, number one, the microwaves warms things. It dries things out. A thin shirt or a thin thing, anything in this earth that is alive, doesn't have a lot of hydration, possibly. And so it would easily be what? Cooked very quickly. So we're talking about possibly 5G. I might be stretching y'all, but I'm going to stretch my imagination anyway. Things such as butterflies, very delicate, very small creature, therefore probably minimal water content in its body, easily cooked by 5G, and other things like that. I move on. Another thing that was suggested not to put in a microwave because it doesn't fare well are eggs. And the reason why eggs shouldn't be put in a microwave is because it's closed in. That egg doesn't have any pores. And it's also basically a liquid in the inside. So when it starts to boil, the steam cannot escape and therefore leads to an explosion and a mess, of course. Now, why is that important relative to us on a more macro level or bigger level? Because remember, we all going to be some turkeys in the microwave come April 2020, when this whole 5G system is in play internationally. It is because what else exists in our world that is important that does not have pores or a lot of pores or a way for that has some water contents in it and has no way for the steam to escape. Guess what will happen to it? It's going to explode just like an egg. And right now, what am I doing? I'm just comparing this traditional microwave that we all know so well, and the things that we think about putting in it against us here in this realm in a microwave like situation. I move on. Another thing that is shared that a person would not do well to put, wouldn't be well to be put in a microwave are things like hot peppers. Now, hot peppers can spark, and I've seen that before. I'm not sure exactly why they spark, but hot peppers can spark. And so it can also lead to a fire. Another reason that hot peppers shouldn't be put in a microwave is basically the same reason like the brown paper bag, that it releases its natural chemicals and can cause a person to choke and even to burn their eyes, the same effect as pepper spray. Why is that important to our situation or our upcoming situation? It's because there are many things in this earth that have its own chemical formation. And when heated, releases its gases. And so, whether it's a brown paper bag or a jalapeno pepper or a plastic bag, when such things are exposed to the kind of radio wavelengths I'm talking about, the microwaves, then they all in this world will be releasing their gases, their fumes. Some will be toxic. Others will be like that pepper spray, burn your eyes, burn your throat, and cause you to choke. These are the things that it appears that we're going to have to deal with when this 5G system is in place. Now, these people that have advanced this technology are doing so for multiple reasons. And so I'm going to go and share what I think their reasons are. That's where I'm going to go now before I continue with not to put in the microwave. So, 5G. Now, what I personally believe from my experiences that I've had over the last about 8 to 9 years is that, and I can't prove this, but just watching in this life and witnessing certain things, I believe that science and scientists have created a tool that has been placed in our, I guess you could say, orbit between Earth and the sun. That tool orbits at the same rotation as the sun, so you don't see it. If you don't know to look for it, You won't see it. Now, this piece of technology, I know, was put in place, I guess 6, 7 years ago. I know, at least. And that's what I talk about in that video I made in the past, You've Been Microwave. And the reason why they put that tool there that they created was to be able to tap into the sun's energy, that natural energy, and to be able to harness it and focus it. And as of today, we often hear about weaponized weather. This particular tool or weapon I speak of has the ability to impact the weather and weather patterns. And the reason why the people in power would want to control the weather and the weather patterns is actually, or ultimately, to control the masses. Why would they want to control the masses? This puzzle has so many pieces to it. Another piece of the puzzle that doesn't seem like it's directly related to 5G is that eventually the people of this world, humanity, are going to be squoze. They're going to be very uncomfortable when it comes to their personal, physical, worldly wants, needs, and desires, and their sense of security in this physical world. And their natural response will be to uprise. And so the people in power must be able to maintain their power, and they will do so by using 5G technology. As shared here, one of the ways that they can use 5G technology to control the masses, humanity, is through weaponized weather. Another way that the people in power can use 5G to control the masses is to decrease the population through illness and death. We've just been talking about being in the microwave, this grand old microwave with all the plastics and the landfills and the brown paper bags and even the peppers, the different peppers and things like that, and other things that we haven't even thought of. We're caught in this environment as they turn on the microwave. So over time, people begin to get sick and to die, and nobody can put their hands on it. Nobody can prove where the illness came from. What's the source of the illness? Well, I'm here just like other people saying that 5G is deadly. But can we really do anything about it? No. Another piece of that puzzle, because there's so many pieces. One piece says that Pandora's box is open. We have the knowledge now. And because we're so flawed in this human vessel, because we're so greedy, self-centered, egotistical, narcissistic, that we will keep advancing in technology, even if it's going to kill us. So the best we can possibly do is get educated about every form of technology that comes into existence and to learn how to offset its effects. So far, we've discovered that maybe aluminum, some forms of metal can assist us. We're choosing the lesser of two evils because we know that can also be harmful, but it's the lesser of two evils. So some of those doggone juices with high metal content might be helpful by 2020. Maybe that's why they're talking about it and saying it's so bad for the children now. Maybe, or we can take those various supplements. What did you say it's called, Terenzo? Monoatomic gold. Maybe we can take some of that. Or, I mean, you got to watch your biological chemical makeup to make sure it stays balanced. So you got to go back and forth to the doctor in order to get your blood drawn to see that it's still within a healthy range, but at the high side of that range. In order to do what? Kind of offset the frequencies of 5G on your system. We've identified we can drink plenty of water. We are researching about thought and how it could play, and any other thing we can think of. What else have we discovered? We know that we need to minimize the plastic that is around us. That's been a growing issue. What they call these people that was caring about the environment, they lame, they was nerds. We wasn't listening to them. It seems like they were right, and we were just preoccupied with everything else. We got to get these landfills under control. We have to minimize plastic, and we got to do something with it. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we got to do with it. Do something with it, because that could be a problem. We've also discovered, talking about the aluminum or the metal, that we're going to have to change our wardrobes. We all get a new wardrobe. We get the lead-lined hats and all the survival khaki metal pants, whatever we got to do. Now, you remember back in the day, it used to be a joke that it was some old nerd geek mother sucker that had the metal hat on, and it's like it's aliens and everybody was laughing at him. Guess the joke's on us, because the time is here for us to buy them metal hats. That's deep. And then we've also discovered so far that the popcorn that we pop in the microwave, those little plastic bags, paper bags, really has something called susceptors on it, made of the material susceptors, and that absorbs radiation. So we know that we got to go to Home Depot and we got to find us some gnomes, or somebody got to create some gnomes that are susceptors that the radiation can go into. Rather than us, it can go in the gnome or a statue outside. So somebody get to creating. Anyway, I was talking about the purpose of 5G. Why are people that are in power so interested in moving 5G along? I've heard this, and now I've researched it for myself. They're selling it to us like, we're going to have the best phone service, internet service, ain't no more drop calls. That's how they selling it to us. But they ain't telling us it's deadly. And we are going to be the turkeys in the microwave come 2020. They ain't telling us that. These people weren't lying. They really did their research. So I go on. The use of 5G. Wow. Is they say, to extend the power of communications and Wi-Fi and things like that I just talked about. And what was I writing here? The truth of the matter is, think about it. If 5G is directly related to communications and Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff, and, oh man, I don't want to go back and bring up another screen. Earlier, I was talking about how in April 2020, it's supposed to go international. And what was the language terminology? I can't remember terminology, but in brief, it was saying that this 5G is a bigger like machine. It's a bigger, what did it say? Let's see, I'll say like a bigger brain, bigger power associated with Wi-Fi and internet and all that kind of stuff. Bigger. And I bring that up because the people in power must make it bigger in order to execute or expand the Big Brother system. I know y'all heard about the Big Brother system. That's where the federal government watch everything we do. The people, the sheeples, humanity. In order for our system to control the masses, they must expand the Big Brother system. They are currently doing it with the watches, with the cellular devices. And they've been talking about introducing that ID chip they want to put in your hand. The mark of the 666, they want to put that in your hand. on your forehead, wherever they want to put it. But that is technology. And that technology, more, I just heard power surge. That more technology for us is directly related to 5G and their ability to keep track of 7.5 billion people in the world, to make sure that not a percentage of those people come together to begin an uprise. But if they do, then that weaponized weather will be turned upon that a portion of the population to cause them to bow down. Wow. Anyway, I just want to talk a little bit more about how this 5G is directly related to expanding the how would I say? Because it's so a lot of different terminologies. How can I kind of just sum it up? This 5G is what is necessary, again, to oversee 7.5 billion people, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're currently doing it, big brothering us or spying upon us. We know this. Again, through our cell phones, our TVs, our watches. They're talking about these chips that they're going to introduce, those ID chips. They need more brain power. They need more energy. 5G is the answer. They want to create smart homes. They need more energy. They need to be able to harness and concentrate more energy in order to see the smart home become a reality, a common reality. And then don't forget, all forms of transportation use Wi-Fi and various forms of technology. Our time is not, what do they call it, anecdotal anymore. You don't watch the little hand spin on the clock. It's all digital. And it's all sent to your phone and your watches via what? Wavelengths or Wi-Fi? See, they need to expand because there's more technology to come. And that technology is going to be put in our hands and in our bodies and in our immediate surroundings for the purpose of doing what? Watching us, the Big Brother system. You think about it. Just think about how many technological changes are happening relative to just about anything in this world. They must increase the brain and its power. 5G is the answer. And 5G taps right in to our sun. That's why it don't seem like we got a sun no more. They're pulling the energy directly from the sun. Anyway, automobiles use this energy with the TVs, the radios, all kinds of things. They got all of these, what do you call it? All these little extras in cars. And then all of the interactive applications that we use nowadays. Everything from Facebook. What about the thing where you're running and exercising and know every step that you take? I mean, digital goggles. And it's just getting off the ground. They need a bigger brain and they need more power. It looks like fun and games to us, but in actuality, it is the Big Brother system. And they're able to track every aspect of our lives. We are going to exchange our privacy for 5G. What I say in the beginning of this video, 5G is God here on earth. Okay. So I'm going back. Now we know why the people in power want to create 5G. It's to control the masses. It is to amplify the Big Brother system. And it is ultimately to disable humanity if they ever try to uprise. So let's go back because we still got to know how to deal with this stuff. Because in a year, we're going to be in the microwave. We're going to be the turkeys in the microwave with a bunch of damn plastic killing us. So let's see, what else can we do? Something that you shouldn't put in the microwave is styrofoam. Why? Styrofoam in the microwave. Why? Because chemicals released into the food, going back to those landfills, are going to really be a big problem. They don't need to make no more styrofoam. Not no more plastic, no more styrofoam. Use what you got, dispose of what you can. Pandora's box has been opened. Once it's been opened, it can't be shut. Certain things that are created can never be undone without having an effect. I've thought about that. Medicines that I don't use, can't flush it down the toilet because it'll affect the fish or any other thing in the water, any water supply. They create nuclear weapons. You can't take a nuclear weapon apart and do nothing with it. If you put it down in the earth, it's going to contaminate the earth. These are all the things people kept telling us about, and we just couldn't see it. It's then took us to this point, the age of Aquarius, the star of the sea, and then about the finalization of 5G. Styrofoam is in our environments. So what am I saying? Styrofoam will not be a good thing to have in your immediate environment when 5G is in full effect. When you can look outside your window and see row after row after row after row of 5G towers. You don't want plasticware, plastic bags, styrofoam, none of that. You don't want too many hot peppers or brown paper bags, because slowly those things will be releasing their chemicals or toxins into the environment, a cocktail of poisons. What we gonna do? Anyway, the next thing is what you do not want to put in the microwave is lidless. Oh, it's not the last. Is lidless containers, and we know why. You put something in the microwave, turn it on, and start boiling and popping, and it be all in the doggone microwave. You have to cuss and fuss because don't nobody wash it out but you. So how is that relevant to us or help us understand how to deal with this 5G situation issue that we're going to be facing fully face on come 2020? It lets us know that, again, we need to buy those special little lead hats or metal lined hats, or create our own little Martian hat in some way. This is serious. It's not a joke like it used to be. This is serious. And so that's another thing we can do. Now, another thing, this is what I found interesting, and I know that I'm going to think a little bit more on this just because it's interesting. Something else that should not be done with a microwave is that a microwave should never be started if there's nothing in it, because it would do what? Blow up. To smithereens, as it said in the article, to smithereens. That microwave will blow up to smithereens if it is nothing in it. Now, I actually went to www.ahs.com to gather that information about what should not go in the microwave. And so I want to read what that little article had to say relative to not putting anything in the microwave. And it says the microwaves released have to have somewhere to go. The microwaves released in this microwave got to have somewhere to go. And where do the microwaves go? Into the food. Into the food. So, in this microwave, the microwaves released, here you go, the microwaves released in this microwave have to have somewhere to go. Where they gonna go? In us. We're the turkeys. In us. Anyway, I read, the microwaves released have to have somewhere to go. Without a destination, the waves bounce off of each other and are absorbed by the microwave, causing it to combust. So, we know that, Have to be something. That's earth dry. We know that they have to put that 5G technology in towers in concentrated places, because the rule of thumb is that those microwaves have to have somewhere to go. If they do not have something complementary to go into, then they combust when they hit each other. So that foretells of certain events that will happen if the positioning of those 5G towers is not done successfully, that we're going to have sudden combustion happen. It's possible that we saw that with our California fires. That's what they said. That's what they said. But we can also bet that, again, when it comes to this 5G's wavelengths, remember they're so short that they have to have the towers in very close proximity to each other to connect the waves to finish the cycle. Would suggest that we're going to constantly be walking through these waves. This is an interesting world, y'all. It really is. Anyway, 5G. God on earth. I talked about how 5G is God manifest on earth. And 5G is forethought and thought. Remember, all of this is pre-planned. This stuff didn't just start. They've been planning this stuff for damn near 100 years. It's just materializing now or being realized in the physical world. It is foreknowledge. They know what they're going to do with it. They're going to do what? Control the masses. They're going to oversee and control the masses. And if necessary, destroy the masses. 5G has internal life. We know this because when Pandora's box is open, it can't be closed. Once we've made any given medication or pill, we can't undo it. To flush it down the toilet will contaminate the waters and any creatures in that water. Once we've made, again, a nuclear bomb, we can't take it loose. If we put it down in the earth, it contaminates the earth, making it radioactive. It has eternal life. That's some deep stuff. And I want to start right there because when I was saying that, I was thinking about when I was in some science, I think natural science or something, where certain elements had a half-life, meaning that that thing, I guess, would stop being active at a predetermined time. But 5G and its effects is eternal, meaning once it's in place, it will never able to be undone. And then it's indestructible. Yeah, indestructible. Wow, that's deep. And it will be our truth. It will govern. It is true because it will govern our reality. We know doggone well that when illnesses start cropping up in another year or two, more alarmingly, the truth is these sicknesses are happening. They are a reality. Many people not going to know why. What am I saying? That 5G is governing our truth. It's creating our truth. It's going to create the big brother system that governs everywhere we go, everything we do. I think it's in China where they have the rating system. The first time I saw a rating system for socialism was on that program called Dark Mirror, a couple of years ago. So these kind of systems were already being thought of almost 100 years ago. That's how far in advance they are from us. And in that movie, that program, that series, Dark Mirror, it talked about the social scoring system that can lead a person to be outcasted if they don't behave as the authority figures tell them to be. That's the truth. 5G will govern our truth. Social engineering. Thank you, Terenzo. Yeah. Now, this is reality. Now, I'm not trying to scare you with this report on 5G, this discussion. I just want you to be knowledgeable, so we know what to do. It is time for us to act. And what we should do is understand why 5G is a part of our reality now, what its purpose is, and how we can counteract it. Seems like the only way we can counteract it in this physical body is to choose a lesser evil to partake in, like it's talking about the metals. Let me see. Oh, I guess I did everything. Oh, another thing I want to talk about, and then I'm done talking about this 5G stuff, is the changes. I say, let me stop. I'm talking about the 5G and when it was, I noticed it first was initiated. When I say 5G began to be initiated, stop. I'm going to try again. 5G is a system. Systems are created by different parts. Hi, Jordan. You okay? I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're okay and all is well. 5G, as mentioned, is a system. Therefore, it's made up of many parts, which means it could not be put in place overnight. Through research and understanding this physical realm, the people in power came to understand that they could access that 5G wavelength. And again, I personally believe that they had to tap into the sun's energy in order to be able to access and to hoard and funnel and direct the energy. So, of course, it took time to discover how. Of course, they've done it. I got coffee. Scientists and people in power hired scientists, and they did it. And so for years, they have been slowly putting these various parts or components to the 5G system in place. What I'm trying to get across to you is that you understand that 5G is a conglomerate, I think is the word, of many different parts. Each of those parts have their own unique individual function. But together, they are what I call God here manifest on earth. One purpose. And it's for those that own that physical manifestation of God on earth to hold all power. That's what it's all for. All parts are for that. Controlling, humanity. Right now, I want to talk about one of the parts that I know of. And I've talked about it twice here, but I want to bring it right back up. And it's for a reason. Because I'm trying to show you how this 5G network or system, how each part is contaminating or helping to increase the contamination and devastation to our planet and also to us. When I speak about the instrument that has been constructed and placed in between Earth and the sun and orbits at the rate of the sun, that has the ability to harness and direct the sun's energy. That tool. That's just one part of the 5G technology. That one instrument has been used to, again, control the intensity or the heat of the sun. I'm trying to go somewhere and explain something. And because that one tool that is a part of the overall 5G system, that one, has the power to be directed where the creators want it to be directed, and can concentrate and amplify the energy of the sun and the power of the sun, it has caused certain changes in our environment. As you know, we live in a self-contained ecosystem. It was preset to run on autopilot. But because man has tinkered with nature, things in our environment have changed. This one tool that I talk about that amplifies and focuses the energy on the sun, I'll say it, may very well have pierced something in particular and or cause something to go combust. I'll use the example of something going combust. We have an industry of drilling and excavation of various natural resources, things like oil. And when man drills and excavates the earth, gases are released from within the earth. Then on top of it, there is that one tool that's a part of the 5G technology that amplifies the sun and can focus it and hits those patches of gases that have been released from us drilling. That 5G, I'll call it satellite, that amplifies the sun, cause things to have combustion. And the reason why I bring those things up, because they're just an example of the many things that's taking place in this earth. It is because, remember, wild animals are dying, and it's not making sense. You never hear about any lab work or anything that comes back to say that these sea animals or these birds have any form of poisoning or contamination or anything like that. I've never heard of it. If you have, let me know. But I ain't never heard of it. It's like mysterious. How did they die? And so right now, I want to pose an answer to how they died. I shared it with you early in this live stream that due to the tinkering of this ecosystem, this balanced ecosystem, we have thrown things off. And therefore, there are decreases in the oxygen levels on this earth. Right now, it's, minimum in comparison to where it's going to go when this whole 5G system is in place. Because right now, I'm talking about what was happening, 7, 8 years ago. That these things that we've been doing, the drilling, the digging, the amplifying, and the focusing, has caused these changes again in our environment, in our atmosphere, such as the various air pressures and things, oxygen levels. That's why the birds and the fish, I do believe, are dying. But these, again, aren't things we can see. We can't answer the question why they're dying, right? But I just posed you an answer. So the same thing is going to be taking place with us. And it's going to increase starting April 2020 when this whole system, all the various parts go online. And they're all working intricately. I've talked so much. Oh, and another thing that has been a complaint that I do believe is directly related to the 5G, the development of 5G technology, because it ain't just come up overnight. They've been doing this for damn near 100 years, putting this system into place. Is that you hear reports about the water diminishing on the earth, such as, the water levels of lakes and rivers and ponds and creeks and streams and oceans and seas. We hear it all the time. We hear about the melting glaciers. Now, back in the day, we didn't understand what was going on, but we are in the age of Aquarius. We are more aware now. The implementation of a component of 5G technology was put in place and activated or tested. And it's led to, again, these drops in the levels of our waters and the melting of our glaciers. They talk about the streams running in reverse or something. I don't know. They talking about how the sun is going through supernova. They ain't talking about that thing they put out there that's orbiting right in front of the sun, that if you go look, you can see. See, we are becoming more aware. And why am I bringing that up? It's because the system has slowly been being put in place. We have been living out the effects of each individual part as it has been put in place and tested. Next year, the whole line will be, what's the word they use here on technology? Synced together, and will continue to function infinitely because it has what? An eternal life. I don't know if I made that make sense. Anyway, I'm done. I'm going to read the chat. But I'm just talking about, they bamboozled us. They really bamboozled us. I feel like I've been suckered, hoodwinked, dirty mother scrutchers. Dirty mother scrutchers. All of this time, they gave us all of these fake excuses, when the reality was every work that these greedy elitists were doing was causing all these crazy, would soon, in the future, from back then in the future, bring about these effects that we have to deal with. And many of us, like myself, I can't go underground. I ain't got enough money. Hey, I ain't trying to go underground, but to hide away from these 5Gs. So I pose this question. Is it possible? I do know that a shelter can serve, anything can serve multiple purposes. But let's say, why have they built, I've heard, because I ain't seen it, I ain't been invited, at least not yet. Way life going, I don't think I'll get an invitation this time around. But I've heard that these elitists, or the people with money, the wealthy, have been building these elaborate underground cities for some time. Is it possible that the people with money intentionally are going underground to live their lives because this 5G system, again, was scheduled to be in place, and it is necessary in order to bring God here on earth to be able to govern over man? And they know that they don't want to be in direct line of the 5G because it's going to do what? It's going to continue to contaminate the environment, all that it touches. Impossible? I don't know. But I was just sharing again and drawing a correlation between a regular old household microwave and the microwave, what do we call it? The global microwave we'll be in, that we already in, but it will be fully active, online, and in sync April 2020. Man, y'all got any ideas? Silver is another. Yeah, silver. I've heard that. To be able to buy those kind of things. And then, I'm kind of scared, Trends. I don't know if you're still here, but I'm a little afraid of some of these metals. Like the gold. You talked about the what they call it, atomic gold or whatever, and the silver and various things. Because again, we're talking about the chemical makeup or chemical makeup of a person, and it has to, again, that certain range that you have to stay in. And if you just constantly taking these things without, again, keeping up with it, it can really take you into a very dangerous place with it, regardless if our environment is saturated with 5G wavelengths and and the side effects, or the results being the radiation. If we go above the required or the normal chemical level of the chemical, any given chemical in our body, we're also in a state of danger. That's why I say, even though we may need to just make sure that all of our chemicals in our body are within the range they should be, but on the higher level, we still got to be careful. Because a lot of people, I hear a whole lot of this about people taking all these, again, supplements and things like that. You got to go to the hospital. You got to watch that. You got to watch that. I not too long ago went on my doctor's portal, and I was reading all of my labs and stuff, and everything was in range as and was normal. So that is good. Now again, with this 5G information, I got to get some of those things and start taking them, and then coerce the doctor to do me a lab test. That's another thing. I got to coerce the doctor to do me a lab test so I can see where I am. And so that's just a caution. I think one thing that we should really consider doing, and this is something I was always interested in as a little girl, was being a designer. I think that the clothing would be nice. A new Uranus entering back into Taurus soon promise humanity some new colors and some new fabrics, textures. And so tweeds of gold and tweeds of silver within our clothes would help, shield us from these wavelengths, radio waves or microwaves. This is going to be an interesting experience. And the whole thing is that, again, this is a part of what's defining our new paradigm. It is defining our new paradigm. It was a time in the past that you walked out the door. When you walked out the door, your family didn't know where you was. Nobody knew where you was. If you wanted to get lost, you could get lost. But now, and in our near future, nobody will ever be lost again. Isn't that something? No more privacy. Can't even be freaking no more, and keep it to yourself. All your business about to be out on the street. You are talking about the fifth dimension. You think that's the fifth dimension? No, the 5G, as far as dimension, has nothing, I don't think has anything to do with dimensions or dimensional shifts. 5G is the fifth generation of electromagnetic waves or something like that. It has to do with the it's that I would have to write that down. It's the radioactive waves. You know how the wavelengths go, either they real wide and loose, or they're a little tighter, or they were sitting right on top of each other. It's the intensity of the waves and the power. That's potential energy, I'll say. It's potential energy. And those type of waves can be, again, harnessed and focused and used for a purpose, just like we do in a microwave. So I don't think of that as anything to do with the dimensions. Maybe it isn't man. Maybe it's disguised as man, woman. What's disguised as man, woman? I talk so much. Only I got it out of context. Light fidelity technology. Fine. What about the Saturn-Pluto conjunct in next year? I haven't taken a look at that, Jordan. I will have to take a look at that to see and actually meditate on it. Let's see. But immediately I think of, like, when I think of Pluto, it's saying, God damn it, you better change right now. You better change by any means necessary. And Saturn say, in order to make a change, it's going to take a whole lot of discipline. And this is something that we have a problem with as human beings. It's hard to tell yourself no. It's hard to tell yourself no. But if you want to see change, you got to. It's hard to, just, again, it's hard. It's like hard. How can I say other than hard to say no to yourself? It's hard to do the right thing. Whatever the right thing is, for the betterment of your all, not just yourself, but all. It is hard to do that. It's hard to do that because it requires a person to, again, to sacrifice. Saturn really, to me, represents sacrifice. You got to be mature, disciplined. You can't do this or you got to do that. And, I might not like it, but that's what's required for you to get what you want or get what's needed, And so that's probably what the Saturn in conjunct to the Pluto you're talking about the next year. Not human, but looks human. Not human, but looks human. Oh, that's a whole another thing we about to deal with. Syntheticas and things like that. It's going to, and that's a whole nother thing. A lot of things we're talking about now is defining a new paradigm. Again, we live in the age of deception. Syntheticas are going to be a part of this, the enhancement and sustaining of this age of development. Is about to be crazy. Hi, what's this? Angelina, how you doing? I'm sure there's a Twilight Zone episode of the 5G already. Yeah, it is. And it's called, what's that program? Black Mirror. It's called Black Mirror. Yep. You mad how you had me go back. I started watching that Twilight Zone. I got all hooked for a while. I might watch it tonight. And see, old structures are dying, which is great because they were made to enslave us. Yes, but this is what I believe that many are missing, and possibly you, Jordan. Even though these old structures are dying out, and they were made to enslave us, they are giving way to updated structures. Now, the structures that come into being represent who we are. It represents actually the people that hold the power. So they're merely updating it, making it more advanced, aligning it with the current technology. That's the change that's taking place. That's the death that's taking place. If we want a more liberal experience, then that means the people, the masses, have to stand up and execute their power. And the elitists are aware of that. The people in power know that. 5G. Make sure you can contain the people. 5G. I am God here manifest on earth, and I will control the people. If you don't stay subservient, then I will destroy you. 5G is that, remember that pentad, God manifests on this earth. He is forethought and thought. I know what you're planning on doing. He is foreknowledge. I know exactly what to do to control you. And what is it? Indestructible. Once something is taken out of Pandora's box, it can never be put back up. And truth. I, 5G, your God, manifest here on earth, will tell you what your truth is. Period. And so that's the new structure. And that's why it's being put in place, because people like you and me and many of us just want our fair shake. But those that are in power, for whatever crazy or insane reasons, don't want to give people freedom and liberty. And that's where it seems to me, now again, y'all hear me say, I don't know nothing about no aliens, but something ain't right with these people that's in power. I do tell you what the little bit I think I understand about people that are in power is that they have a different mindset They know nothing about empathy. They don't have that. And they're in Jungian. You know how some people talk to the ancestors and stuff? They're in connection with ancient Indian energies that feed off of, I share this, feed off of starving people. They enjoy that. It gets their nuts off. What they call it. You know what I'm talking about. That's what they do. And these people are representatives for these type of entities. These elitists and these people in power are bodies and avatars for those particular entities to come sit in. They won't come sit in me because that ain't what I do. They might not come sit with you because that ain't what you do. Plus, you and me, we ain't got enough outreach for them. They not going to see enough death and destruction and decay through our works. But with people in power, talk about Queen Elizabeth. If you watched one of my videos, what was it about? Where I was talking about her, I think it was her minted gold coin or minted something, silver coin or something, and the little booklet that came with it. And she talked about her in that book. They talked about her, the 10 lions that lined her path of her coronation, and how they walked with her. We're talking about these are the 10 spirits that Queen Elizabeth embodies. She was handed those spirits down, those ancient benevolent beings I'm talking about. Look it up even here on YouTube or find it or order, whatever. She inherited those 10 beasts. It's called the 10 beasts, I think. She inherited those 10 beasts during her through her bloodline. And they were, I would say, released or leashed in her to hold the reins of during her coronation. Now, y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about. I got videos here on this YouTube channel. It's like about 5 parts, and it's called The Beast Within. Now, I just seen that Queen Elizabeth stuff about 3-4 months ago. I made those videos called The Beast Within 3-4 years ago, where I talked about my beast within. And who they are, what it is, and what I saw, and what I've experienced. I've talked about the beast within relative to other people I see. I know personally that's real. And why do I bring that up? Because I'm talking about these people that's empowered, these elitists that moved for a century or more to put this in place to control you and me, to make sure we never have our freedom and our liberty. This change that has taken place is an upgrade of their system. And the only thing that can stop it is you and me. But first, we got to understand what we're dealing with. But there's so much fake stuff out here that we don't know what is real. We live in the age of deception. That was another part of their plan. It's working perfectly. We don't know who to believe. We don't know how to see these same things for ourselves, because I think it's all of us. The other day I did the video on talking about the subconscious mind, and it was revealed to me how it works. See, that was just something I just got a revelation on. In that video, I shared how I've been having the same reoccurring dreams for 40 years. And now here it manifests in the physical 40 years later. Over them 40 years, it never made sense. It was annoying. It was driving me crazy. But it was talking about this time now. Donald Trump, the Mexicans, the wall, the economy. That's what it was talking about. 40 years of the same damn dream. That's crazy. But now it makes sense. It makes sense now. And so what am I saying? I'm saying that we hold the power. Me, you, and every individual hold the power to battle against this and the system and what it's for. And it is possible that these elitists are for these benevolent ancient beings. Now, I don't know if these benevolent ancient beings belong strictly to this realm and can't leave out this realm. That's what I don't know. Or I don't know if they are from outside the realm, but I know they are in this realm and they are in us, and they are in those people that are the wealthiest and the elitist, and they tell you to your face and you don't hear what they saying. And the crazy part about it is many of you experience these entities and don't know. It's been normalized. It's been so normalized you overlook it. But this is the age of Aquarius. It seems like we're running on a very thin timeline to me. But this is the age of Aquarius, the moment to gain enlightenment and awareness about what's really going on, and to come to know yourself and what's in you and what, animates you and things like that. So that you can do what? Fight back. Fight for your rights and your liberties as a being on this realm. Ooh. But again, we don't know who to support. We don't know who to believe. So it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But we're going to mess around and reincarnate back in this mother sucker. And we're going to be like, what was that? The Black Mirror episode where the lady had her subconscious taken out and implanted into her smart home to run her smart home. Her subconscious knew everything that she wanted, the perfect temperature, the food at any given time. And that subconscious did not want to be in that position, but it was forced to be. That Black Mirror scared me when I seen it, because I was like, oh, these mother suckers already knew. We just didn't know. We are waking up late. And then people like me that kept seeing stuff as I was growing up. I'm the weirdo. I'm the crazy one. I'm still considered that. But my whole point is I knew it. I knew it. And it's still going to be some time before I am venerated, I guess is the word, of being a weirdo. Because it's just coming into being. We're still getting over our egotism and our materialism. We got to be broke out of that. We're going to have one of them rods, one of them bamboo rods broke over our back in the spiritual realm, because we got to get out the egotism, the narcissism, and the materialism and see what's really going on. And so it won't be until then that I'll be, liberated from the label of little nuts, crazy, and weird in my immediate environment. Let's see. They don't like people, not just people in power. I think there's one of these narcissistic monsters in every environment. Oh, yes. In every environment, on every level. The difference is when we start talking about the people that are in power and elitists, there are, again, I don't know if these entities, again, are from this realm or outside of this realm. But these entities are very, very powerful. And how can I say, they got their minions. Every entity has its minions or its lower level soldiers. And so it right from the highest king of whatever malevolent energy, and they drop all the way down into the sewer, the minion, the one with no power, no social pool, but they still a minion nonetheless, and executing that same energy on what they can touch. Now that's what I know for sure. I see the entities in narcissistic clearly. Yeah. Then I see it in envy. Yeah. See, jealousy. Yes. These are the traits. Right. Every entity has its own traits. And right. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And that's what's so overwhelming for a lot of people. And then we're so preoccupied with life. We have been forced to be preoccupied with life, with making sure we got something to eat, somewhere to lay our heads. And oh my God, if we in love, we preoccupied with, enjoying that love and holding it together. So we ain't never, in the past, I don't think we've had time to really contemplate or to acknowledge what else we were experiencing. Because we've always been experiencing, but we were just ignoring it because we were preoccupied. But now the time has come where things are going to be made obvious. It's going to be made known. If, again, been using the term squeeze, if we have to be squoze, I mean, he had hit hard times or be hit over our back with that bamboo pole in the spirit, we going to become aware. And a lot of people, I think, are going to be afraid. A lot of other people going to want to take their life. But it's really not a scary experience. And I guess I could say that because I've been going through this my whole life as far back as I can remember. For the first time in my life, y'all, I got tears in my eyes. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. People are starting to see the same things I've been plagued with my whole entire life. I'm not alone. Soon and very soon, I won't be considered crazy. And so people are going to realize it. And I'm just saying it's not scary to understand the power that you hold. It is coming to understand the power that we hold and that we are truly, we've made ourselves or been made to be superficial, but we're not superficial. We're not simple. We are advanced beings, just encased in a temporary physical vessel for whatever reason. The reason seems to be to have a particular type of experience. Evidence shows, and based on what I've experienced, we have an eternal essence. So, I mean, to me, it's an exciting time. I hope death don't come get me no time soon. I hope I can stay Nancy for a little while longer because there are some things I like to see. Talking about Jordan, going back to that, you said the Pluto is going to be conjunct with Saturn next year. Hey, I thought they was already in the same house, in the house of Capricorn or something. But anyway, that to me really talks about that squeeze I've been talking about. That squeeze. They're going to put the squeeze on us. And we got to be prepared. But how can you prepare? Oh, I'm such a weakling. Y'all. Somehow I'm going to figure something out. I hope y'all figure something out too. God dang, all these stuff popping up. Wow, I didn't see that Black Mirror episode. Oh yeah, that Black Mirror was one of the things I binge watched on. I'm not a big TV person. I haven't been for years. But like somebody will say, oh, you should watch this. This sounds, because I talk to y'all. Everybody I know that I talk to them about the same things. Of course, they don't have the same interests. I'm just crazy Nancy, but they be like, girl, I seen this program. You are probably like that. Go watch this. And so they know they didn't get rid of me. Man, when I was told about Black Mirror, nobody hear from me. I watched episode after episode after episode after episode, binge watch until I fell into the void at the end when there was nothing else to watch. And why did I get addicted? Why did I binge? It's because all of that stuff I had already seen. For the first time in my life, I wasn't alone. For the first time in my life, it wasn't my imagination. It was evidence in the context of somebody else had the exact same storyline I've been seeing my whole life. Finally. So that's really entertaining to me. The same thing happened with the program called 4400. Nancy, go watch this. This is probably something you like. They know as long as I'm watching it, I ain't messing with them. I ain't got nothing to say. When I first turned on that 4400, I was addicted from beginning to end. I binge watched, didn't want to go to work, didn't want to do nothing. Why? Because it was lining up with the things I had been seeing my whole life. And then the same thing just happened. Y'all know, y'all a witness. It just happened again in the last year. Somebody on here, I think, said, Nancy, go watch American Horror Story. I said, okay. And I ordered the channel with American Horror Story. After the first one, I was hit, a hook, binge watched all the way through. Why? Because it's the same storyline I've been seeing my whole life. Finally, I was not alone. And so if y'all got anything else, let me know. Let me know. They are powerful in the pissed. They are powerful in I'm lost. You know I'm lost on it, right? They are going they are going to lose their power once the Grand Conjunction happens in January 2020. You think? Well, we'll see because that's just like right around the block. N is and. N is and. Oh, they are powerful and pissed. Oh, okay. See, you know how to make sense to me. They are powerful and pissed. Yes, they are. Well, Jordan, I hope you are right. I hope they do completely lose their power. There are people that I believe that are in office that will lose their power over time. But you got to, the governmental system is so broad, it's so extensive, and it's so many different layers that we're dealing with here. This is not any simple, what they call it, what they call something when it's very simple. You know, it's not just one little thing to be plucked out. This stuff goes deep. This really goes deep. And that's why I feel like when I say they, I'm talking about our system overall, has like even the younger generation by the balls, especially in the urban cities and, minorities. It's because the educational system was blah. They didn't want to learn. And so it's a lot of the illusion they won't be able to see because they don't even know what they're looking at. They're looking at. And so a lot of them are going to have to move forward and use their instinctual nature and passion. And maybe that's the role they're supposed to play. Maybe they are, the younger generation will be that revolts against this system. And it's be by any means necessary. It's like man against God. Man against God. Right here on this earth. The battle between liberation and enslavement. That seems to be what's going to take place. Our self-esteem and boundaries is mainly what we need to end this abuse. We do. Our self-esteem, we definitely need to have high self-esteem, which is very difficult in this world because we all abuse each other one way or another. And it's hard again to get in a happy place in this physical world and stay there. Some people, I can only speak, generally and for myself, it's hard to sustain, again, that happy space, that emotionally stable space, because it seems like it's always something. And when something is constantly happening, you begin to question who you are as a person and if you are worthy, and that affects your self-esteem. And once your self-esteem is affected, of course, you may not have healthy boundaries. All of those, see how all that stuff plays in together? Everything plays in together. Did I see the movie The Devil's Advocate? Girl, yes. The Devil's Advocate, what's his name? Keanu Reeves, he's so cute. Is one of my favorite movies because when I talk about the beast within, again, if it's something that I've been seeing my whole life, I love. The scene where the lady, they trying on the clothes because Keanu Reeves or whatever his name is. What's his name? John, his woman that moved on up and they got the permit, so she hanging with the ladies while he always at work. The ladies go shopping and the black lady pull a dress on, and as it's dropping down, her face shifts to a demonic face. See, I've been seeing that stuff my whole life. So, when I see like, that's what I'm talking about. I am not alone. I am not alone. Finally, it's coming out to the, general public. I am not alone. That's one of my favorite movies. Or Walking Through Hell. That's a good movie. They can't control 8 billion awakened people. That's 100% correct, Jordan. But it goes beyond being just awakened. Like, we awaken on this channel. We talk about everything. We do a lot of studying and having social exchanges, but you got to be willing to go into action. And that's what that conjunction you were talking about is talking about. You got to be willing to go to action, and it's by any means necessary, meaning that you may get evicted from or expelled from this physical vessel that you're familiar with. But is the battle worth it? Is it worth it? Or are you going to be quiet like a mouse and move, with the 5G and keep your physical vessel and wait for it to die out on its own, knowing the same thing is going to happen with the next generation, your children and your grandchildren? And remember, Pandora's box has been opened, meaning the technology is just going to keep yielding and folding and growing. Eventually, they may maybe take your consciousness out and put it into a smart home to service someone. Do you want to reincarnate back here with that? Those become the possibilities based on the line, the storyline that's happening. Excuse me. They can't control 8 billion awakened people. We hold the true power. We're just extending it to them, which we need to stop doing, definitely. But to stop them, we have to know our power. We have to know the roles that we play, the role that we play as an individual and in our small social group, and how that small social group plays into the collective. That's the real challenge we have here. Trust and understanding how to orchestrate or organize this world if we were to go against the established system. The truth of the matter is, the way our system or world is set up can stay. Perfect lineup. We're familiar with it. But what we have to do is understand that we're not going to be working for money. We must understand we're working to sustain our lives. And that if you want to stay alive, you need the works I know how to do. And if I want to stay alive, I know I need the works that you know how to do. Again, it has to do with location. I can't help nobody on the other side of the world. I can't do it. But I can help somebody in my home. I can help somebody down the street from me. I may even be able to help somebody in my city. And so these are the challenges that we are having a hard time being able to get a grip on. How do we micromanage something that's macro, something that's big? And again, the system is already set up. And so we need to use the system that we have. And I say system, I'm talking about social system, the arrangements. We got to get rid of the biases. We got to understand why we work, and which is to sustain our lives and things like that. And then we have to be willing to have exchanges, understand why we have these exchanges internationally. It is because my continent may not have what your continent has, and we need some over here to help sustain our lives. And the same thing applies over in the other continent. You need something we got. But see, all of that structure, the winds are high, and the flow of materials and natural resources is always padding somebody's pocket. It's always padding somebody's pocket, making somebody more wealthier than the other. And that's how it wasn't meant to be. And as long as that stays in place, 5G is God. But if somehow we can overcome the corruptness or pry the corruptness out of the system, which would be very difficult, almost impossible. I don't know how we could do it. Then it is possible for us to crush that 5G. Let's see. You think that the 5G will make people more evil or even crazy? Initially, yes. But as the system is in place and is really governing mankind, remember, you're losing your freedom. you're losing your privacy. It's like a teenager at home. Parents go, it's like, woo, we gonna party. That parent come home, that student sitting there on their best behavior. It's gonna be the same thing. People aren't going to have the freedom to do what they want to do or would do if they had the liberty. They ain't. So all of that evil stuff, only folks gonna be evil is them that run that 5G. Everybody else gonna be on their best behavior, because now we're starting to look at watch. This is some time off. I kind of meditate and see time frames. We're talking about capital punishment coming in, because they gonna be. It's gonna be tight. Cause like, oh, you broke the law. We gotta make an example of you. We watching you. If you a big and dumbass to do it, and we watching you, then we gotta make an example of you. So I foresee capital punishment being more frequent. Well, not frequent, more legalized, because it won't be used frequently, but it would be used to enforce, an example, like make a person an example. So, no, I don't initially I think people gonna go crazy. Yeah, they're gonna be going crazy because I think death will increase because people gonna be getting sick. We talking about the landfills of plastic and brown paper bags slowly releasing their chemicals and fumes into the environment. Depending on how closely you stay to those places determines the impact it's going to have upon you. Like me, I live in a house in the city of Detroit that was built in late 1920s, early 1930s. Down in the walls is probably lead paint. Oh, it might help, lead paint. You ain't supposed to eat it, but it might help keep some of the stuff out. No wonder they coming back to the city, but they building new houses. But my whole point is that it's so many different chemicals in these paints and walls for these houses that's been here 100 years. 5G hit this mother sucker, who knows what it's going to be releasing. And people just going to be getting sick and not knowing why. Now I got a TMI, and this is something they don't believe a person going to talk about. But I'm going to put it on the floor for this live stream. And then I'm going to get out of here. Death by diarrhea. I'm going to write a book. Death by diarrhea. And why do I say that? Because the food, remember, 5G has already been in place. All the systems have been being put in place. Based on the little miniature research I've done, 5G has the ability to, the frequencies have the ability to have plastics and brown paper bags and different things like that release their chemicals and fumes. And what was that last thing it released? And it said it'll go into the foods. Styrofoam. It was something else. I don't know what it was. But anyway, so we can just imagine that things have already been seeping into the ground and the animals and the crops and everything. So we've been already consuming many of these toxins. And not only that, then we have this thing with genetically modified foods and things like that, whatever that means. We'll have to dive deeper into that. All of these things, our food supply, we know, is contaminated. We live in a contaminated world. And so our indigestion system is taking a hardcore hit. I know my stomach messed up. And most people will do nothing but focus on the fact that I'm fat. But I think it's a little bit more than that. My kids' stomach messed up. Most folks will focus on the fact that I'm their mother and therefore prepare their meals. I need to change the menu of the foods that I serve. Okay. When I go out and I meet people, I have the strangest conversations, and most of them get some type of indigestion or digestional system issue. And I guess a person would say, hey, you live in a particular environment with a particular type of people within a group of people. All of y'all need to change the way you eat. Not knowing what that stranger made, diet may consist of. But what am I saying that for? Why am I giving a TMI? is that I believe another attack that is taking place is directly linked to the food. And I do believe that it is messing up our digestive system. And I do believe it's intentional. All of these chemicals that I'm saying, based on my research, are constantly being released into the organic food supply. And then on top of it, we're eating these genetically modified foods. I know y'all done heard about the plastic rice, the plastic lettuce or cabbage. All of this stuff that we're eating is messing up. You can hear my stomach growling now. It's just gurgling, messing up our stomach. And all of it is to do is to make us weak. Period. Let's see. Not participating is a powerful move. But how can you not participate? The mark of the beast is coming and people aren't ready. Yeah. You know, I think the actual mark of the beast, excuse me, I think the mark of the beast is not like mark of the beast. I think the mark of the beast is being in this physical vessel and executing or being the advocate, like devil's advocate, the advocate for ancient malevolent energy. That is the marking or the stamp that a person is dark, evil, demonic, and carries all of the attributes associated with that line. That's what I think it is. So I'm not really concerned about the little microchip. I don't want it. Being in my hand or forehead. I just don't want it. I don't want nothing in my body, period. God ain't give me. I don't want it. You know, earrings was enough. But I believe that this mark of the beast that the Bible foretells of is not something that is of this physical world. It is what is real. Remember, we live in this age of deception. The illusion is so heavy that we can't see. Whatever is divine and great and merciful, whatever it may be, that has had a reasonable interest in our well-being, don't work with maybes. When I say that, I mean talking about the mark of the beast. It ain't no maybe. Not wondering what will be the mark of the beast. No. The mark of the beast is, you'll hear me talking about when I do the tarot readings, the state of your soul. Remember, I've been constantly saying over and over again, I know for the last 2 years, the astrological energies, the tarot is talking about, is basically focusing on the state of your soul as an individual avatar. After having this life experience, where is your soul at? Whatever your state of your soul is your mark of the beast. Either you got it or you don't got it. What am I talking about when I talk about the divine and creator, whatever we want to call it, is that it don't work in possibilities. It works in absolutes. Either you're absolutely this way and it is your soul, or you're absolutely this way and it is your soul. If the state of your soul is found dark, evil, malevolent, it carries all, or it has the potential to carry and execute all negative energies associated with that bloodline. And you carry the mark of the beast. This goes back into that Queen Elizabeth stuff I was saying about her having the 10 beasts. Same thing. If the state of your soul is pure and it's light and it's loving and it's benevolent and it's healing and it's hopeful, then you do not bear the mark of the beast or the 666. That's what the mark of the beast really is. There is no confusion. It can't be, what do you call when you mess up a test, or It can't be manipulated or screwed up or mistaken or confused. No, these things, spiritual things, are untouchable by physical man. You know what I'm saying? It's untouchable by physical man. I don't know if I make that make sense, but that's another thing that I would like to talk about in detail. Let's see. The mark of the beast is coming and people aren't ready. True. Once Pluto and Saturn move into Aquarius. Okay, I was saying I thought they was in Capricorn moving into Aquarius. Aquarius talking about the large social network, the world at large, and them having to make a choice. Either go fight against it or you not. Okay, it will be the rise of the utopian society. Yes, if they decide to fight toward it or not. But then you got to define utopian. What is utopian? Utopian can be we fight and we gain our liberation and freedom, then we must establish it. We must build it. And if we want that utopia, we have to build it. Otherwise, there's another utopia. The 5G, God manifests in the physical on earth, utopia. That's a utopia too. It's just who is, who wins, who creates what utopia. It's not one utopia. It's who the winner is. It's the rulers. Utopia. And the end of capitalism. No, I think that capitalism is going to gain certain things are not touchable. It's not tangible. Capitalism also exists when you can capitalize off of anything. You can. Folk can. Including capitalizing off of people's souls. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine that these very wealthy people that I speak of, these elitists, remember I say it just don't make sense about these folks. I don't know if they from inside this realm or outside that realm. Outside this realm. If they can lead this realm or what, I don't understand. I said that's some hell of a greed in the past live stream. Hell of a greed. That the motherfucker want to capitalize on your eternal soul. See, capitalism is just going to change. As people call it, ascend through the dimensions. Okay. Woo! Going to capitalize on the state of your soul and hold it captive forever. That's some deep stuff. Agnes will not allow this. They will fight. LOL. Everybody got their gift, Yoni. Everybody got their gift. Everybody got their role to play, even them. As well as the youngsters that, have a whole different mind frame. They have their role to play in all of this. Show Ozark on Netflix. I started watching Ozark. It lost me. I think that's where the man was working for the gangsters or something like that, and they got in trouble. So it kind of lost me. When things are contaminated, our job is to control the appetite. Definitely. Oh, definitely. Now, that's the one I hate, right? But that's definitely the case. And that's why the research, Donald Trump kind of did us a favor, shutting the government down, limiting folk food stamps, scaring them and stuff, because I learned and I was able to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, that it takes 3 weeks to die of starvation. Keeping in mind that starvation is a process, so you're constantly going through physical changes and challenges as a person starves. And so we can say you can not eat in a week. You just got to get used to it. You get used to it. Or eat a couple of times a week. So digestive I know this word, enzymes, digestive enzymes, great to help digest. You can get Sprouts. Oh, I love Sprouts, $12 to $20 Oh, I love sprouts. But I didn't know they was good for you. I'm just greedy and just like them. So I just sit and eat them. Didn't know. I figured they was healthy, but I didn't know. They just good. Not participate in certain things like holidays, fast food, 7-Eleven snacks, etc. Oh yeah, we can always pull back from there. And see the holidays, I for holidays gonna die hard. And the reason why like holidays are going to die hard and sports are going to die hard is because again, we don't work. We don't get up when with the sun anymore. We don't go to sleep when the sun go down no more. We don't sit by candlelight at night for an hour and read. We're too sophisticated for that. Everything is automatic washing machine, dishwasher. We go to the grocery store. We don't hunt. So we don't have a lot of stuff to do. We would be bored without holidays and sports and things. Now, those things can be replaced. What else can we use to entertain ourselves? Some of us use drugs, alcohol, sex, socializing, going to the show, having holidays, doing different stuff like that. What can we? Here's another area to master, start a business, find it's a new form of entertainment for people for the new paradigm. I'm telling y'all all my secrets because I love you. But that's the way. Because people they held on to religion and tradition so long because they needed something to do, to be truthful. They needed something to do. They need to know on Sunday, well, I can get up and I can go to church. And after I go to church, we're going out to dinner. Or we going over to Pastor or Sister Jenkins' house. That's taking care of Sunday. Monday through Friday, I'm going to work from 8 to 4. And then when I get off, I'm going to cook dinner. We're going to Bible Sunday on Wednesday. We're going to wash the car on Saturday. We're going to get off for Christmas. We're going to go shopping. Why do people spend all this money? To be able to have something to do. Why are we wasteful? They have something to do. Why? Because we ain't got no business of our own to handle. We gave it over to that which created the 5G system to control us. They knew eventually we was going to get tired of all these damn holidays and Christmas and stuff. So while we was practicing all that stuff, they was putting this critical system in place. For the time that we say, I'm not celebrating another Christmas, I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that anymore. And you start looking around for something new to do, and you can't find it, and you realize they controlling everything. By the time you do that, they got the system to control you. Oh, we've been bamboozled. I believe there is groups working behind the scene and cults devising plan for this world. I sure enough do. You know I do, right? Because the world is too big. There has to be cults. There has to be groups that deal with various informations and to exchange that information. This world huge. And that's what I'm saying. We as the plain Jane and Joe, that are interested in being liberated and having freedom and being okay in this world, don't understand how to create that type of system and to have the exchanges that we need to have to make the changes that we want. That's one of our weaknesses. And then if we ever figure it out, well, we got to get over the hate first. The cultural hate and diversity and all that kind of stuff, the unnatural diversity. Some things are natural. They're black, white, Chinese, and everybody just a freaking. That's natural. We're not supposed to be fighting about it, but we do. And so since we do, we can't even figure out how to work on this kind of stuff like those cults do. And they get the job done. Digestive enzymes keep your waistline. I got to get me some more enzymes then. Tradition going out the window. Yeah, it's going out. People tired of doing the same old thing. And it doesn't have any power. And that's the loss of a lot of things. Interest. That's the loss of a lot of people's interest in different things in this world or forms of entertainment, it really doesn't have any power. Uh, when you really get into it, it really doesn't satisfy anything. And then if it does kind of pacify something, it's so temporary. And so I believe that we at this point in time in the history of humanity are desiring something that's what they say pure, more long term, more definite. We want the answers. We're not, in some ways, we're shallow. In other ways, we just want to come out that shallowness, I do believe. We're coming out from under the illusion, I think. We can make up our own holidays. The point is, the state tells us when to celebrate it. Right. They tell you when you can have a day off to celebrate. And we all know, you get Christmas off. It don't matter if you're Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, Christian, Baptist, you get Christmas off. So what you gonna do? If you make your holiday any other day, you're gonna be at work celebrating it. So we kind of all fall in line. Well, y'all, I really enjoyed this conversation this evening. I'm about to move to get off this live stream. I love you all. You have a wonderful and safe night. Bye.